How's it going, cool people? Liban Ali here. Welcome back to the channel. So we've got another reaction for Immortals of Aveum. This time there's a gameplay deep dive. Last time they gave us our first gameplay kind of video. Gave me heavy Doom vibes because I really like Doom. If you want to check out the reaction to that, a card will pop above somewhere now. Let's go into this deep dive. Hopefully they'll give us a bit more of a breakdown on the game's mechanics, how you do certain things, etc. Let's go.
Out there. Now, it's time to break down everything we've shown you so far. I'm Zach, the YouTube channel manager at Ascendant Studios.
And I'm Tess, the community content manager at Ascendant Studios.
Immortals of Aveum is our single-player, first-person magic shooter
I said
set
Aveum,
in
right?
a brand new fantasy universe.
I said
And
Aveum.
today, we'll go behind the ley lines to uncover how magic, combat, and more all take shape in the world of Aveum.
Sweet.
One quick note, all of this gameplay was captured with the HUD off, but when you play, there will be a HUD that helps you track your health, your spells, and more.
So the story
Oh, yeah, of
of
course.
Immortals of Aveum takes place in
I would have assumed so.
Aveum, which is a world
would have been the
at
case.
war. All of humanity is fighting for control of magic in the Everwar, which has been going on longer than anyone can even remember.
Yeah, magic is the most important resource in this
The
world.
Everwar.
and it powers
That's a cool
everything.
name.
There's three distinct types, blue, red, and green, and those correlate to force, blue, chaos, red, and life, green.
And the main antagonist
Chaos
we
red,
face
life
is
green,
Sandrak,
force
who
blue.
is the leader of the Rosharnian faction versus your Lucium faction.
So with Sandrak on one side, you take on the role of Jack, who is an unforeseen, meaning someone who acquires their magical abilities later in life. Jack is thrust into the Everwar to defend and protect his
unforeseen.
homeland of Lucium on his
Sounds
quest to become a
like a
battle mage.
dirty word.
In Aveum, those that wield magic can become battle mages or magni. Your character Jack is extra special. He's a rare type of magnus called a triarch, which is someone who can wield all three types of magic. Most magni can only wield one or at most two types.
And leveraging this uniqueness, Jack intends to join the Order of the Immortals, which are basically the Navy SEALs of Aveum. These are the most special of forces and the soldiers that'll fight the most dangerous battles in the Everwar. Now, you'll notice in this gameplay that there are other spells flying around from other magni, and those are actually fellow immortals. Sometimes you'll be fortunate enough to fight alongside these specialists, but for most of the adventure, Jack will be solo, and he'll have to rely on his own skills to get the job done.
Combat in Immortals
Okay,
of Aveum
so there's
is
no-
incredibly satisfying. I am a self-professed
No co-op,
shooter
I guess,
FPS
in that
dog.
case. I mean, you have
love
these other
that
team members.
Super snappy, well-tuned.
So I guess they're
shooter combat. In this game, you have magic play instead of gunplay.
characters
magic
akin
instead
to
of
a
guns, but it feels just
like a
right.
Joel and an Ellie,
Yeah,
for
the combat is
example.
incredibly
With an Ellie controls the
satisfying
skill game.
and intense, and you can even combo your spells. So you'll be throwing off blue magic with your right hand and control spells with your left hand. There's a pretty cool progression system where you can build out your Jack and his arsenal in the way that you see fit, in the style of magic that you prefer best across the three different colors.
So red magic is kind of your close quarters combat weapon of choice. It feels very similar to a shotgun, so if you really love running up into the face of your enemies or pulling them towards you,
Shotgun
a
magic.
lash control spell, for instance, and then punching them with your red magic, it's very satisfying.
Yeah, those are incredibly powerful spells, but if you like to hang back a little more and say use a scout rifle, then blue magic
That
will be for
mofo
you.
from the
This is a
previous
much more accurate,
gameplay.
precise, long-range type of magic, and you can think of it like a very steady rifle.
Green magic is really fitting for your run and gun style of play. So if you really like using something like an SMG in other games, this is definitely the magic style of weapon.
These are
for
good
you.
comparisons.
It uses rapid automatic magic projectiles that will hone in.
Since I'm assuming the idea behind this
Teamwork
is
really
like
awesome
a
because you
Call
don't
of
have to
Duty
pick
cross
just one.
magic.
Since Jack is a triarch and can wield all three colors, you can switch between all three types of magic at will.
One thing you'll notice about Immortals of Aveum combat is the Simon Says sort of strategy to the magic play. And what I mean by that is when you encounter an enemy that's using green magic against you, you'll want to use green magic against them. That'll be the strongest thing for you to use.
Here we've got a
Okay.
red Magnus casting
Green against green,
Chaos
red
Aura
against red,
buff
blue against blue.
on his minions, and you'll notice they glow red, indicating, yeah, let's use red against this red enemy to negate the buff, and this will help you strategize in the chaos of battle. So you got spells whizzing by your head.
That's pretty
left and
straightforward.
right, and
That's
you can
like- that's
key in on,
pretty
oh, that's a
damn
blue target,
straightforward.
I'm going to use my long-range blue spells, and we're only scratching the surface on enemy variety in this gameplay. there are plenty of other ferocious forces you'll have to take on in the full game, including a wide variety of swordsmen, magic wielders, creatures, and boss battles, all requiring different strategies and tactics.
So let's dive a little bit deeper into all of these cool spells we've been talking about. Immortals of Aveum has a variety of different kinds of spells. The strike spells are kind of like your primary weapon type. You have blue, green, and red, and a variety of them, and they are focused by the sigil that you wear on your right arm. There's a wide number of sigils, and they all focus your magic in a slightly different way.
Okay.
And then we've got fury spells, which are your very powerful.
So this is why they said you could build Jack in the way that suits you.
And you'll need to remember to crush
Because
mana
from the
crystals
sounds of it, there are going to be a
your
lot of
bar
different
to
sigils.
keep on casting. Then we have control spells, which allow you to manipulate the world and your enemies in a variety of ways. So Jack can lash and grapple around the world. He can slow down enemies and even stun them. And these control spells will also help you in the many puzzles you find around Aveum.
And then you have the Dominion spell, which is basically your ultimate, called Immolate, and it allows you to basically clear the field when you really, really need to. It does
Come
take
here,
a bit
Mayor
of
Wave.
time to cast, but it's worth it.
This is your screen clearing, save it for the biggest battle moment, and it looks absolutely epic.
So besides strikes, furies, control, and your awesome Dominion, you also have augments, like your shield spell, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's basically the cover you take with you. So you hit a button, throw up this beautiful blue shield, and you can shoot through it while your enemies attack you, and it takes some of that damage until it breaks.
And no good Magni stays in the same place for too long, so thankfully Jack is a very mobile man. He has both blink and hover, which allow him to dodge and jump above the battlefield to avoid incoming spells and also reposition to fire off another spell of his own.
I think what's
There's
great
actually
is
even
just that
more
the
types of
maneuverability
spells
of the
than
game
those we've described, but
is
you'll
very
have to find
fast
those
paced,
for yourself
and
as you play the game.
So we touched on this a little bit before.
I think that only
but
adds
Immortals of
to
Aveum has these devices called sigils,
or
which are these
entices you to want to
beautiful
play the game more.
pieces that you wear on your right arm, and they serve to focus your primary spell magic and give you a different kind of attack depending on the sigil that you choose.
Equipping these different sigils will allow you to change the strike spell for each color of a magic. And you can think of it kind of analogous to swapping guns. So swap out a sigil and modify the primary attack for each color. There's actually 3 primary attacks per color and a wide variety of sigils that will all provide different boosts and buffs to Jack's magic use.
So
Sweet.
here's a really good example. When you start the game, you start with a strike bolt blue sigil on Jack's arm, and that allows you to shoot those individual bolts that are really amazing at doing long range damage. You can also later on find a blue sigil that gives you the ability to do the javelin spell, which is exactly what it sounds like. You rear back and you shoot a blue magic javelin at your enemies. It's incredibly satisfying.
For all you RPG fans out there, there is a ton of loot and gear in Immortals of Aveum. You got a plethora of chests that you'll find throughout the world, and then you'll earn very awesome gear by defeating specific enemies.
One thing that's really important to note is the loot is not procedurally generated. It's specifically designed and specifically placed. There are hundreds of items of loot, but when you fight a boss, it's going to drop a specific thing, and you'll get that awesome thing
Okay.
if you fight that boss.
I mean,
same thing goes for chests.
would there have
Same
been
thing goes
anything
for
wrong
all
with
of
it
the
if it was
loot in the world.
procedurally
It's
generated? I'm
more
not
the
too sure.
style
Maybe
of
some people
Souls-like,
prefer it that way.
specific amazing
but
weapons
that's-
from
that's good to
fighting
hear.
that
That's
boss
good to
or
hear
this
too.
boss, then it is a looter shooter type of loot system.
No mindless grinding, no wasted evenings. Instead, you can craft sigils. You'll be able to upgrade sigils, and there's a ton of other gear types as well. You got magical rings to boost your offense. You've got bracers that help amplify your defense, and totems that add additional modifiers to your control spells as well.
Immortals of Aveum has a deep progression system. As you play through the game, you'll be able to find and pick up sigils, other gear, and currencies like Arcanum and Gold, which will allow you to craft, upgrade, and unlock talents, just like you're used to doing in your favorite single-player game.
Arcanum.
Let's give you a little glimpse into the skill trees here.
Oh, look at
where
that
you'll
skill
use
tree.
Arcanum to purchase skill points in the 3 colors of magic. So you can venture down the green skill tree, the blue, the red, and prioritize whichever type of magic is feeling more your style.
Along with talents and the ability to find sigils and gear, as you play through the world of Aveum, you'll encounter spell shrines, which unlock special spells like the Refract that you see here, which is an enhancement to your Disrupt control spell, and it allows you to work your way through puzzles that you might not have been able to access before.
It allows you
I think
to.
The very best feeling is getting
Gotcha.
a brand new spell. And here we see Jack using Refract to figure out his way through this puzzle. It looks simple at first, but it will require tactical thinking and careful use of Refract to find a way to progress.
Some of these really cool spells that you'll gain access to through Spell Shrine.
From what's been shown so far, Immortals of Aveum, not Avium. I'll be saying Avium, right? Aveum is shaping up to be pretty damn cool so far. Obviously, this is an EA Originals game. The last big EA Originals game was It Takes Two. That did phenomenally. Maybe Immortals of Aveum can follow that same path of success. They said obviously some missions you would have other characters with you as part of the Order of the Immortals. It's interesting there's no co-op element to it. I thought this would have been perfect for some sort of co-op element. And it's weird hearing from an EA published game that, yeah, you're going to be on your own most of the time, solo. But this is obviously what we wanted from them. That's pretty cool. It looks like there's going to be a ton of customization in the game, ton of different ways to play, ton of different ways for you to build your own character, and lots of replayability by backtracking throughout the world, getting as much loot as you can, more treasures, etc. I hope to see a beta for the game at some point, or a demo. I think that would be pretty damn sick, or try it out, or maybe at one of the events they're going to be showing off the game somewhere. But that was the Immortals of Aveum. I was about to say Avium. Immortals of Aveum gameplay deep dive is shaping up to be pretty cool. I can't wait to play the game. Hopefully we'll be able to get our hands on it pretty soon.